Tatooine is sparsely populated. If the trace was correct, I will find them quickly, Master.
Move against the Jedi first. You will then have no difficulty in taking the Queen to Naboo to sign the treaty.
At last we will reveal ourselves to the Jedi. At last we will have revenge.
You have been well trained, my young apprentice. They will be no match for you.
Lord Maul, be mindful. Let them make the first move.
Yes, my master.
What's up, shipbuilders? I gotta admit, this just might be my new favorite ship. It isn't the most powerful ship I've ever built, nor the fastest, but just look at it. I'm quite pleased with how this turned out. When I set out to build this, I wasn't quite sure I could accomplish the wings, or even frankly get a C-class reactor to fit in the slim profile. But after a lot of tweaking, I couldn't be happier with how this turned out. So let's dive into the various ship systems. To start, let's look at the reactor. Now I'm using the Pinch 8Z reactor. I often use the 8A for its high hull value. In this case, I wanted some extra power points, just because I really want to deal a ton of damage with this ship. The grav drive, the Aurora 12G, this gives a ship of this mass 28 light years of jump range, which is the most that you need in the game. And I've got the Vanguard bulwark shield. Super powerful shield, top 3 in terms of shield health, and very lightweight too, which helps keep the maneuverability of the ship up. For the engines, it's a little bit of a mix. I've got 2 SA-4330s and 2 SAE-5660s. The 5660s, I think, just complete the look of Maul's Scimitar a bit better, and they provide a bit more thrust. And with the combination of the two, I only have to allocate 10 points of reactor power to my engines to get full performance, which gives me 2 extra points that I can put to my weapons or other systems. Speaking of weapons, I've got 4 CE-59 missile launchers. These things deal a ton of damage. They kind of act as torpedoes. They're just a lot of fun, especially the way they mount on the wings like that. 4 PBO-175 auto Helion beams, and then 6 Vanguard Obliterator autoprojectors to just shred any enemy ships that might challenge you. For the detail build, as always, we're going to do this in layers. A few things you should know. I am using the NG-20 landing gear. So for that, you will want to go to the ship technician on Titan, the moon of Saturn. And I also have a Kon-Tiki bridge for the bridge or cockpit, which you can get from Havershaw at the STROUD-EKLUND STARYARD in the Narion system. Once you're there, you can also pick up the reactor, the Pinch 8Z, and these weapons, the CE-59 missile launchers, the PBO-175s, and the Vanguard Obliterator autoprojectors. You should also get the engines, the SA-4330s and the SAE-5660s, while you're there as well. For the rest of the components, your outpost landing pad is the best place. There's a lot of structural pieces just to get the look of this quite right, and so your outpost landing pad is the best place for the rest of the pieces on this ship. Now this main kind of column down the middle of the ship, filled it with some HABs. You can choose whatever HABs you like, or fill it with the new empty HABs and decorate it however you'd want. That's completely up to you. This obviously forms the main spine of the ship with these Deimos wing pieces on either side. And to complete the look, we've got these Deimos spine pieces on the top. And then I've also got some on the bottom, just to complete the look, so the bottom didn't look so kind of unusually flat, if you will. Now because I'm using the Slayton engine, we've got some decent thrust, I can fit some cargo on here, so I've got 2 of these Galleon cargo pieces. You'll notice my mobility is at 94, it's not at 100, which is unusual for me. I usually like to min-max my ships. In this case, I am prioritizing just having a little bit more cargo. If you didn't want this much cargo and you really wanted that max mobility, you could swap these out for some Tayo cap pieces that are shaped basically identically to these Galleon cargo pieces. And that would lessen your mass quite a bit and bump up your mobility too. One main ladder in the ship. You'll see we come in off the landing bay, and then there's one ladder straight up to the cockpit. This cockpit you enter from the bottom, and so we don't need a HAB behind it, which is kind of nice. It helps maintain the shape of this ship. Now you'll notice for these wings, they don't actually attach to that HAB piece there, which is a little bit unusual. So what we do is we actually use these Nova wings here, which have connector points on the side and the back. And that back connector point is what connects to our engine. Now, the cool thing about those SA-4330 engines is they're compact enough that they can fit behind these SA-5660s. So you see I'm not using any glitches, and those still slot in right behind the SA-4330s. So we can maintain the look of our ship, we can get just a single two kind of engine contrails out the back, and we're still hiding these engines in there and getting a bit more thrust. So I use that trick a lot in my builds when I want to keep a certain look, and those SA-4330s are some of the best performing in the game as well. So it's kind of nice that you can use them in that way. So we'll go ahead and put this bridge on. You wouldn't have to use this specific bridge. It's the highest version of the Kon-Tiki bridges, so it gets us a bit more cargo, which is nice. And the last is for these wings. Now this Deimos Hull piece is what really holds the wings together. Everything attaches to that. So another Nova wing here, which attaches to that Deimos piece. And then this Stroud nose cap is important. You'll see it has two connector points on the top and the bottom, and then one on the side for the missile launcher. Those connector points on the top and the bottom are important. As you'll see in a minute, we'll put this other Stroud cap piece on the back here, and a Deimos wing that has our other missile launcher underneath. Now those connector points on those Stroud pieces are important because you'll see on these Deimos spine pieces now, these don't have connector points on the sides, just the top and the bottom. And so as we connect these, we're essentially just stacking them in columns. Kind of got 3 columns here on the top and then 3 columns on the bottom. And that's going to give us the shape of our wings. But we have to have those Stroud cap pieces in the middle in order to hold it all together and to connect it to the main body of the ship. So it all holds together just like that. And it's the same thing on the other side. Deimos Hull, Nova wing connects to the front of that. And our Stroud cap connects to the side. And the other Stroud cap B connects to the back of that. And that's what holds everything together. See, as I select these in groups, you'll see how they're connected. I'm just going to move all these together. But as I select them, do a select all, it just selects one column at a time, because that's the only way that they connect. And that's it for the build. Let's take a quick walkthrough of the interior. I'm going to sign off. Until next time, keep building.